parents packed the cafeteria of a school they're still calling toxic. We shared their stories earlier this week. Kids were sick for much of last school year with nosebleeds, dizziness, and vomiting. They came armed with questions, concerns, and information, but left, they say, still feeling uneasy.
We do have a question and answer time at the end.
That's great, but right now, this is a community forum, and I'm starting to ask the questions.
It started as a meeting with information on a new HVAC system, a timeline on when the problem was first discovered, and what the school system has done since.
We called in Area Environmental to consult with us on how to remediate the issue to prevent these possible spread of mold and contaminations, and they instructed us on how to proceed with the recommendations.
Parents came armed with questions.
Is it your plan to provide all their reports public? Because if you're going to, standing here in front of this community to let them speak about what they're going to share is a useless use of all our time.
An argument echoing throughout the meeting. Communication.
It is unethical that the Howard County community school system did not tell our full community. Unethical, bottom line.
The school system announced a, quote, problem was first discovered back in 2010, 3 years earlier than what we were previously told. Parents say they weren't notified of mold specifically until an email sent this summer.
If you guys go out and spray a damn bee's nest, everybody gets an email, right?
Yes.
Hey, you got the potential for mold and all these bad things in this building.
Our national experts did not present this to us as a health issue. They presented this to us as a maintenance issue. And we routinely, sir, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, we routinely do not inform the community of maintenance issues.
A meeting intended to address concerns about mold and upgrades to the school at the center of it all left perhaps even more worries lingering.
Our children start school next week on Monday morning. There may be a considerable amount of them not here. If you don't give us the reports, give us the opportunity to look at them, and let us get back to you.
Questions, parents say, brought unsettling answers.
Yes, let me explain what happened. In one of the classrooms that we had our licensed cleaners here to do, they missed a screen, and they hadn't pulled the screen down, and when they pulled the screen down, there was mold on that.
Glenwood parents provided the InFocus team pictures of the mold found earlier that day. The school system says it was immediately cleaned and inspected.
You guys came here today and said this building is safe, so I would assume it's a very simple thing. It probably would take 8 hours for someone to walk every room of the building and account for a visual inspection.
I do want to go back to what you said, though.
If it hasn't been done, that's all I'm asking.
Okay, well, we're going to answer that question.
Other concerns centered around old tennis balls on the bottoms of chairs.
They look old. To me, they look old. How could you clean a tennis ball?
That still remained after what the school system calls a thorough cleaning.
So we haven't gotten an answer, but it was brought up to Howard County, so I think we need to just
before Monday
come up with a plan on how to replace those.
And will the tennis balls be removed before Monday?
They agreed after discussion to toss the tennis balls before the start of school. Still others worried about ceiling tiles left stained, like the one directly above where we stood during our post-meeting building tour.
The tiles that had mold on them, they were replaced.
Yes.
All of them?
The ones that we identified as having mold on were replaced.
Although the school system promised a safe school, they couldn't promise mold was 100% out of the picture. An end to a meeting that left some parents nervous for the doors to open come Monday.
If they have a known mold allergy, should they come to school on Monday?
I would say that's a conversation between your physician and our school health office.
Now, parents reported finding what looked to be mold in the art room on their building tour last night. School Communications Director Rebecca Amani-Dove confirms that something that appeared to look like mold was discovered behind the sink, but she says it wasn't actually mold, and it has since been cleaned, and the art room will be thoroughly cleaned and countertops replaced over the weekend. I asked Amani-Dove if the substance was tested and what exactly it was. She says, in the professional opinion of their industrial hygienist, it was dirt.
Parents pretty upset.
Very upset.
there seems to be a little lack of communication going on somewhere.
Right.
What's going to come forward?
So now the school system apologized, repeatedly for not letting parents know about the mold sooner, telling them that they do hear their concerns. They promised to keep parents in the loop moving forward and suggested an air quality committee so they can continue to monitor the school. They also agreed to post reports on their website, in the end assuring parents that the building is safe for school on Monday.
And I bet you're going to be there on Monday.
We sure will.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
All right.
A recent study led to the discovery of mold and air quality issues at the Westfield Middle School. 22 News reporter Mike Mascadrelli joins us live after speaking with the superintendent.
Superintendent Stefan Zaporowski wants to assure parents, students, and faculty that the Westfield Middle School is safe for the start of the school year. The Westfield School District asked the Massachusetts Teachers Association to complete an air quality study at the middle school in early June after hearing some concerns from staff members. It was discovered that the roof was leaking and it caused mold to grow in some of the classrooms. Superintendent Zaporowski said they made all the necessary repairs to the roof last week.
Water and dirt equals mold. That's what happens. And in some cases, it was discovered behind a wall. We replaced the whole wall. And we fixed the leak, so there will be no more further mold developing.
Zaporowski also said carbon dioxide levels in the school were higher than normal, so they fixed the ventilation system, which circulates air around the building. He said CO2 levels have been reduced to a level where they're not considered dangerous. Zaporowski said they tested the air quality at all their schools to ensure it's safe. Students come back to school next Thursday, August 29th. Live in Springfield, I'm Mike Mascadrelli, 22 News.
A school with mold and angry parents who say they still haven't been told about it. Now, last week, the Howard County school system admitted to mold growth that it was found in Glenelg High School. That makes 3 schools where the county has acknowledged a mold problem. Just days after our story aired about parent complaints and sick kids at Glenelg, the principal sent an email to the community saying, "I want to inform you that there is no mold problem at Glenelg High School." In Focus investigator Amy O'Bear tracked him down after last night's Indoor Environmental Quality Committee meeting to find out why he sent out that notice, when just 2 days later, the school system admitted that the school does in fact have mold.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm sorry. Principal Schindler, I'm Amy with Channel 2. Have you notified parents of mold at Glenelg? Is there a reason why you said that there wasn't a mold problem?
Amy determined to get that information. Parents tell our team they still have not received any communication from the principal notifying them of the mold at Glenelg. Amy has stayed on top of the story. We'll continue to do so, and we will bring you the very latest updates as they come in.
Well, students in Northampton and South Hadley will be starting their school year off from home, but not because of COVID-19. 22 News reporter Jillian Andrews is live from our Hampshire County Bureau. And Jillian, air quality is a concern here.
At Northampton Public Schools, this air quality issue actually evolved from safety measures they put in place to protect against COVID-19. Just as the 2021 school year begins, a new obstacle has arisen: mold. Northampton Public Schools discovering the hazard in a theater and classrooms in the high school and middle school.
Essentially a result of our efforts to increase airflow for COVID purposes. So we're running the univentilators in the building at the damper 100% open, and when the weather's like this, it means that we're bringing in very humid air.
The district brought in a professional cleaning crew to remove the mold, which was only on hard surfaces, making it easy to get rid of. However, air quality isn't just an issue at Northampton Public Schools. The South Hadley School District informed students and parents that the first day of classes would be remote due to a substance on the walls. 22 News contacted the South Hadley superintendent, but have not heard back.
I think the kids already had like a tough year dealing with COVID. They, lost a year of school already.
and now we don't even know what's going to happen for the next year. So mold on top of all this, it's like I think the kids just want a sense of normalcy, and it's tough to get right now.
In Northampton, middle and high school students are scheduled to return to the classroom on Friday, and then there was no mold in the elementary school, and so those students will return as scheduled tomorrow. Working for you from the Hampshire County Bureau, Jillian Andrews, 22 News.
Now at 10, an extended summer break for some kids. Mold at a local school is taking a bit longer to clean up than expected. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this Friday night. I'm Dana Bruick in for Lee and John. NBC 15 is your back-to-school station. First, the start of school was pushed back 1 week, now another delay. A mold problem at Cromrie Middle School in Middleton has kids back to class next Friday at the earliest. NBC 15's Chris Woodard is here with more.
Dana, this headache keeps getting worse for the school district and parents. This pesky mold problem is proving harder to get rid of than anyone thought.
Tina Spellman knows her child's safety is most important. But when we broke the news to her that Cromrie Middle School would stay closed for another week, she wasn't looking forward to telling her son.
I think initially to have a couple days off was okay, but he's looking forward to getting back to school.
A mold problem in this 47-year-old school has administrators worried enough about kids' safety that they decided to call off the first day of school on Tuesday night, only hours before kids were set to arrive. 3 days later, the cleanup still isn't completed, and they won't be allowing kids back in until next Friday at the earliest.
I'm glad that they're being careful and taking it seriously.
Tonight, school officials released these pictures showing us the problem for the first time. Anything with significant mold, like the cafeteria tables, is being thrown away, and everything else cleaned from top to bottom.
The cleaning was supposed to be done by this afternoon at the latest. As you can see, that's not the case. The cleaning company is still here, and they will be here cleaning until sometime Sunday.
The primary reason for the change is the complexity and probably the detail work that we expected with the cleaning process.
That means a total of 6 days the kids may have to make up.
Everybody knows the options on breaks are spring break, winter break, and maybe the teachers' convention. Those are the only things that we really have to work with.
Right now, it just means 3 more days at home.
I'm glad that he's an 8th grader and that he's old enough that we don't have to make childcare arrangements.
The biggest question we're hearing from parents is, why wasn't this taken care of over the summer? Why are administrators first trying to get this cleaned up after the school year was set to start? Well, the simple answer for that is that no one saw the mold until Tuesday, and the superintendent says that's because it wasn't visible until then.
Faculty and students have been forced to leave a school building on the Sun Coast because of mold. Students, parents, and faculty had a meeting at Lakewood Ranch High School to address the issue. Members of the school district and a mold expert answered questions from concerned parents. The problem has been ongoing for a year, and the mold has been found in a dozen classrooms in one of the buildings of the campus. Students and faculty have not been in the building since last Friday because it has intensified in certain areas. Randy Cody has 2 kids attending Lakewood Ranch.
Testing that was done last year just wasn't very thorough. They didn't look in ceiling tiles. They didn't look under desks.
Been in limited areas such as underside of desks or in certain areas of wall systems, exterior, not interior. It's been visible on surfaces, and so it's somewhat random.
District officials say the faculty and students will be allowed back in the school sometime next week.